we had you asked to fill out, that's tied in today's workshop. Just for show of hands, did everybody fill out a survey, that health survey, body signal survey? Okay, if not, I'm going to ask you to fill it out before the end of this talk, because it ties into what you're going to be learning here today and how it relates to you. Okay. Now, just a bit of background before what I talk, and this is not going to be a long talk. I'm not going to be talking for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I feel that we can get a lot of attention, we can get all the information that you need within the next 30 or 45 minutes, depending on the questions that you have. So this is going to be interactive. Now, I have an agreement. I have to get your agreement with this one. If anybody falls asleep in the middle of a sleep workshop, give me permission to roll a piece of paper and throw it at your face, or take a picture of you drooling or snoring. One or the other is going to happen. All right. So make sure you guys don't fall asleep. We'll take a picture of you and put it online. All right. That's not going to happen. However, what we're going to be talking about is many body signals that we often live with when we have problems, and we have a whole list of body signals that we assume that is normal. They're common but not normal. And one of the most common body signals that we deal with in our offices, we ask people, "How do you sleep?" Right. So hence the reason why we dealt with this topic of sleep workshop. Yep. Presentation mode. Go to slideshow. All right. And good. All right, technology. So one of the most important questions that we ask when people come to our centers is, we ask them about their health, what they're eating, what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, how they're sleeping. But ultimately, we also ask them, how are they sleeping? How do they sleep? And I want to ask you guys a couple of questions regarding this for yourselves. Okay? So, just from a show of hands, one by one. Does anybody need an alarm clock to wake up on time? Raise up your hand if you need an alarm clock in the morning to wake up on time, or your phone. Okay. Just for a show of hands, who ends up pressing the snooze button at least more than once? When the alarm goes off, they hit it again. They hit it more than once, twice. We're not going to include our staff. You're excluded from this, right? If you find yourself falling asleep while watching TV or relaxing in the evening, just raise up your hand if that's happened to you. Okay, one person here as well. Now, if you ever find yourself feeling sluggish in the middle of the day, around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you have that post, even after eating, you find yourself falling asleep, trying to keep concentration at work, okay? And if you find yourself, when you get home, you're in bed, but then within flip of a switch, or like a snapping of fingers, that you find yourself falling asleep very fast. Okay, so what we're doing right now is identifying all these signals of sleep deprivation. Not having enough sleep on a regular basis. Okay. Do you think this is a common problem in Singapore? Longer hours, right? A commute time, sometimes bringing work home, right? Do you think the problem is now more because the amount of time that we spend on our phones and Netflix and binge watching our favorite shows? Do you think that's a problem? Yes. So that kind of ties into the health issues that we're trying to deal with and help people with today. Because lack of sleep interferes with many things. So I want you guys to get agreement with this. When you wake up, if you look rested, people say that you look well. If you feel refreshed, you're obviously well. If you are alert throughout the rest of the day, then obviously you're probably well. But if you're not any of these on a regular basis, that's a reflection of there's a problem. Right? It's not normal to not feel refreshed. We just accept it as normal. Where it's not normal to not feel good. It's not normal to look 50 when you're actually 35 years of age. I'm sure a lot of people look in the mirror and go, wow, how do I get so old so fast, right? And that comes down from lack of sleep and finding things that interfere with your body's ability to get well in the most important part of your day, which is the nighttime. And also too, with performance, how sleep affects performance. Just from a show of hands, who's got children? Raise up your hand if you have children. Okay. So for those who have children, what happens if your 2 to 3-year-old skips a nap? What does the rest of the day look like if they skip the nap time? Are they fun to be around with, or do they become a little hellion? Yeah, right. Or any students who go without sleep, how do they perform the next day? Who remembers PSLE or high school? It's going to affect performance. So we're no different than students. We just have a better job as adults of hiding how we feel, right? Hiding it to other people, but it still affects us. Okay? So a lot of people don't realize that sleep is more than just closing your eyes and waking up feeling refreshed. there's a process that goes through, that your body goes through when it sleeps. And I'm going to break it down as simply as possible. Because this topic can be 2-3 hours long. I'm going to break it down in less medicalese language that the average person can understand. If I talk too fast or something seems, how to say, too cheap, is that English? Yeah, too cheap, all right? Let me know, all right? And then I'll explain a bit further what it means. So when you sleep, your body goes through 2 different stages. One stage is when you dream. That's the REM sleep. The other stage is the non-REM sleep. Most people believe that, oh, dreaming is important for sleep. Yes, it is. But it's not the critical part as much as the non-REM sleep, which is the non-dream state. In fact, most of the time that we spend sleeping is in that non-REM sleep, the non-dreaming state. Okay? And that's get broken down into 4 different stages. First stage is when you're sleeping, or is that when you're approaching sleep, when you're dozing off. Like if you're sitting down in front of a boring lecture, and then some person's talking in their monotone like this all the time, and you can't help but to like have your eyes doze off, right? And you start to feel warm, and that's a drifting off to sleep. That's phase 1. And I hope and pray that nobody reaches phase 1 in today's talk. All right. Next stage here is stage 2. This is where a lot of us commonly start to snore, start to breathe heavy. If you have a partner that you sleep next to, you start to hear their cadence change, their breathing rhythm change. They start to breathe deeply. That's when your body temperature gets warmer. That's a stage of sleep where we start to heal. Okay? Stages 3 and 4. This is the part just before the dream stage. Okay? This is the part of sleep that which your physiology changes. This is where healing occurs. I'm going to repeat this more importantly right now. Stage 3 and 4 is where healing and repair occurs. Now, you breathe slower, your muscles are relaxed, but I want you guys to pay attention to the most important parts here. Blood supply to your muscles increase, right? So throughout the rest of the day, when we're stressed, when we're tired, when we exhaust ourselves, this is where our muscles replenish the energy, the oxygen, the nutrients. Tissue repair and growth. When you're damaging your cells throughout the rest of the day because of how we eat, because of stress, because of some injuries and traumas, this is the time that your body spends to repair itself at the cellular level. Energy is restored, and hormones are released. Growth hormone. This is an important part to remember because growth hormone is what slows down aging. Promotes recovery, promotes growth, but slows down aging. As you get older, the growth hormone levels in your body goes down. When you're younger, when you're a child, our growth hormones actually are the greatest when we sleep. So when you look at children who are deprived of sleep, they've actually done studies that show that they have troubles with growth, mental capacity here, mental cognition, school, affects of school, affects of performance, but also too, just overall longevity and well-being. If you look at anybody who does night shift work, people who have third shift work, work night shift, are statistically known to have shorter lifespans, right, than people who work regular shifts, because the body has to obey certain rhythm of the sun. Not to get too technical, but when you sleep in the last stage, which is the REM sleep, that's where the dream occurs. That's where your brain starts to take the information from the rest of your day, starts to make more neural connections together. That's important for your body to heal. That's important for your body to remember, for memory retention comes into play. When you study or you have a job or task, and you don't get a deep enough sleep, you don't have the time to reinforce what you learned in that day. So anybody who is deprived of sleep doesn't have the opportunity to have better recall, to have better cognition, and it's going to affect the performance the following day. Also, this is the time of sleep when you're dreaming, your body doesn't want to act through their dreams. So there's part of your brain that needs to shut off their muscles, shut off the muscles of your body so that you're not acting out what you're thinking. That's critical. That only happens in the non-REM sleep, during the REM sleep. But during the other stage, when you're not dreaming, your muscles are actually turned on, your muscles are actually activated. Now, what's crucial is that in your sleep, when you have a long enough sleep, your body kind of goes in cycles. It's not really a steady state. You go up and you go down. You go up and you go down. It's called a wavelength. So throughout your sleep, when you're trying to have when you have multiple wavelengths, you're waking up between the non-REM sleep, which is the recovery state, right? And we also have that's between the REM sleep, which is the dream state, back and forth. Ideally, when you're getting enough sleep, you should go through these at least 3 to 4 cycles a night. Ideally, that's what 7 to 8 hours of sleep comes into play. Because each cycle lasts around 90 to 120 minutes. If you find yourself shortchanging yourself on this sleep, you're shortchanging yourself on the cycles. 3 to 4 hours, when people say that, oh, I can get by on 3 to 4 hours sleep. Yes, but to a certain extent. I'll give you a perfect example of a person whose performance was compromised because of sleep. Does everybody know Elon Musk? Yeah, all right. Everybody knows Elon Musk. What is Elon Musk known for? Billionaire, SpaceX, all right, and eBay, right, also to Tesla. However, what happened last year and a half in terms of the business? Was it going up or down? Yeah, he got into trouble, right? What was his business acumen decision looking like? Well, he made some very probably sketchy decisions. And that ties to, I believe, his status as health mental status, because he was working on very little sleep. So this ties to the hormone I talked about is cortisol. When you're stressed, cortisol goes up. If you have constant high levels of cortisol, it's going to prevent your body from getting to the proper level of sleep. Now, when you have that rest digest part, which is the first stage of sleep, the stage 3 and 4, your cortisol level goes down. Okay? When your cortisol levels goes down, your body heals. When your cortisol level goes up when you're dreaming. The key thing is, the more time that you spend with low cortisol, that's where healing occurs. But throughout our days when you're stressed, what happens throughout the day? We have high cortisol. Cortisol impedes healing, blocks healing. Cortisol, when you sleep, blocks healing. So if you don't spend enough time in that stage 3 or non-REM sleep, you're going to keep your cortisols up, and it prevents weight loss, prevents energy restoration, right? How much sleep do you really need? A lot of people have been taught to believe they need 8-9 hours, right, ideally. But we don't always get that, especially in this neck of the woods, in this part of the world, where we're tied to computers, technology, we work longer hours. There's no magic number, there's no age, and all age groups need different amounts of sleep. So there's no ideal number. However, there's a frame of reference, there's actually a range that your body needs to get through. At least a minimum number of cycles you have to go through to get the best sleep possible. So sleep needs are individual for each person. So your needs for sleep is going to be different from your needs for sleep, from your needs for sleep. Yeah. As you get older, you need less sleep. But kids, newborns, need at least 10 to 12 hours of sleep. Toddlers and preschool. So the younger you are, the more sleep that's needed. There's nothing more frustrating when I look on the train, and especially as physicians, when we see kids up at 11, 12 o'clock at night with their families on a school night. I understand that kids need to spend time with their family and their folks, but compromise in sleep affects their performance, right? And also affects their health as well in a negative way. So sleep deprivation. You feel fatigued the next day. You don't feel motivated, right? You don't feel you're able to maintain that attention. Sometimes you're falling asleep in the middle of a presentation. Moodiness, irritability. You're less likely to be amicable. People don't want to be around you when you have loss of sleep. You have a short attention span. You have short mood swings. You have less creativity, but worse problem skills. You don't adapt to stress very well. If you're not rested, how patient are you with your coworkers? Not very patient, right? How patient are you with your spouse or your kids? Not very patient. So this is crucial. And immunity. If you chronically have low sleep, you're also shutting down your immune system. Okay? Weight problems, memory gain, memory problems, diabetes, heart disease, other health problems are tied to constant elevated cortisol, which is also connected to low sleep. How do you get better sleep? And this is the simple key points. There's an exhaustive list of steps that you can take, but I'm going to list the most easiest things you can start to change that's going to affect and improve your sleep from this point today. Get a regular sleep schedule, right? So everybody has a phone, and everybody can actually set alarms to the phone that reminds them to cue to, all right, time to shut off my phone, or time to shut off my Netflix, or time to shut off the computer, or block your time to shut off your work from home. Get a routine, create an environment that's dark and quiet and comfortable and cool. So having a blackout, having a totally dark room is crucial. Shutting off your technology and phone, because what happens is that any type of screen, blue light screens, tricks your brain to think that it's daylight. So the more time that you spend on the phone at night, the more that your brain's thinking, oh, it's still day. and it doesn't get into the stage of sleep fast enough. So if you want to maximize the sleep, give yourself a break within an hour before you go to sleep, shut off technology, and you're going to maximize your body's ability to sleep. So it's just from a show of hands, who has a hard time shutting off the phone at night? Okay, so I see two honest people here. Right? In reality here, this is the way we live, this is the way we communicate. Right? Unfortunately, our kids, our children, are picking up our habits or examples. If we want our kids and children to actually have better phone habits, technology habits, it starts with us. So I'm going to challenge you as adults, as parents and adults, to first make the first step in taking responsibility for making those changes in their lives. Let's start with their own habits. So I'm going to challenge you guys starting here today, start putting boundaries on your time with their phones. Start doing this, putting your phone down, right? Do it at lunch, do it at dinner time, do it when watching TV with friends, right? Get in the habit of doing that at night. Because really, how many crises or how many emergencies can you attend to at 11 o'clock at night? Okay, so that's a challenge. Difficult, but it's a challenge. Ways to get better sleep. Eating too late can disrupt your sleep pattern. I know eating is social, especially in Singapore, especially in Southeast Asia. But when you eat too late, it also disrupts abilities to get down, your body's ability to get down into the non-REM sleep sooner and faster. Because digestion requires your bodies to be awake for it to work well. Okay? Exercising too late. Some people actually like to exercise in the morning. Me and my colleague Dr. Len, we're early morning risers or early morning exercisers, right? Some people run in the afternoon. But heavy, intense exercise, not like a light jog, not like a walk, that's okay. But heavy, intense exercise too late in the evening will also disrupt your sleep pattern because it causes increase in cortisol. High intense exercise or long distance running will increase cortisol. Cortisol will disrupt your sleep. So when you exercise will determine whether or not you have quality sleep or not. Caffeine, that's obvious. Alcohol, that's also obvious as well too. Okay. Sleep posture, pillow positioning matches quality. So if you spend a third of your life in your bed, on average a third of your life, what are you sleeping on? Are you sleeping on the cheapest items to sleep because you found a deal on pillows in the grocery store, or are you investing in something you spend 1/3 of your life on? How's the mattress? How's your pillows? What's your sleep environment? So if you're not maintaining or improving those, then that's what we're going to touch on here today. So ask yourself, when's the last time you changed your mattress? And if you have changed your mattress, is it offering support that you do need? And if you think it's offering support that you do need, how can you still wake it up without not feeling rested or you feel certain aches and pains? And that's what we're going to discuss in more detail as to why those signals are still happening inside your health. Do not, I'm going to repeat, do not sleep on your stomach. Do not sleep on the stomach. The best position is either sleeping on your side or sleep on your back. When you're sleeping on your stomach, I'm going to illustrate what this looks like. When you're sleeping on your stomach, what has to happen is that you can't really have your face neutral, face down in a pillow, otherwise you're going to suffocate yourself. So you have to turn your head. Now, most people when they turn their head and they're on the pillow, what happens is that now their head is turned and their head is tilted back. So for 6-7 hours, your head is in this position when you're sleeping in your stomach. Now you wake up one morning and you feel, I feel achy, I feel sore, I feel sour on the left side. Is it possible that you find yourself spending too many hours, too much time with your head tilted back because you're on your stomach? So we've got to figure out how to get your body comfortable so you can sleep with the side of your back. If you find yourself a stomach sleeper, that's a problem, right? We've got to figure out exactly what's preventing you from getting to the ideal position, which is on inside on your back. So stomach sleeping is not normal. Also, unless you're a baby, that's normal. But if you're a stomach sleeper, here's another tip. Stomach sleeping will also make your belly look bigger as well too, because that's what happens when your weight sags and you don't have a good support bed. It actually forces the curve out, which actually exaggerates a belly. Nobody wants to have a bigger belly than they actually have, or a bigger belly showing. So start with changing your posture. If you're sleeping on your side, I'm a candidate for getting supportive pillows in your neck, but also between your legs as well too. When your body's balanced when you sleep, that's least stress on your nerves and muscles and spine. If your body has a contour when you sleep on your side, that becomes a problem, especially when you wake up and try to exercise and move, or even throughout your rest of your day when you go back to work. You realize that how come you always favor one side when sitting in your desk chair versus another side. So these are cues to help you understand exactly what might be imbalanced when you sleep. And your sleep position also gives cues to figure out where the problem is inside your spine. If you're a back sleeper, sleeping your back is ideal, but a lot of people have a hard time sleeping on their back as well too if your spine is not healthy. A healthy spine can be comfortable either side or back. An unbalanced, unhealthy spine, well, what happens is that you're actually going to find yourself sleeping or adapting in only one position to get comfortable. And your body cannot adapt to many positions. If you find yourself only sticking to one position to get comfortable, that's another indicator that maybe you need to get your spine checked. Okay, yeah, investing in pillow. So we're going to get the question, doctor, what's the best pillow? You know, Tempur-Pedic, the memory foam, the feather ones, the harder ones, the ones made out of rice or wheat. That all depends on each person's spine. Okay, so there's not one pillow that fits all. But to figure out exactly what your own unique needs are, you got to get your spine assessed. You got to get to see exactly what's going on with your posture, such as the picture that we've taken at the back of your spine. We're going to give you more clues as to what's going to be best for you to sleep. Right, so side sleep, I'm going to touch on it before. What's critical is maintaining alignment. Not just only when you sleep, but when you're walking, when you're moving, when you're sitting. But unfortunately, when you sleep, the amount of time you spend in a proper alignment, that's great. But the more time you spend out of proper alignment, that's more damage that you create to your body. So imagine driving a car, and you have 3 of your wheels aligned, and one wheel is actually partially inflated. Can you continue driving that car? Yes. But what continues to happen over time to the alignment of your car? If you drive with 3 full wheels pumped up, and the other wheel is 25%, or let's say half full or 3/4 full, do you think you're going to disrupt the undercarriage of the car? Do you think that's going to cause it to be very expensive to fix? Absolutely. So why is your body any different? If a third of your life is spent misaligned, or when you sleep, well, how's that going to affect everything else within your body, within your nervous system? So mattress design. A lot of people ask, well, once again, what type of mattress are good? Tempur-Pedic versus pillow, right? Does everybody have a memory foam at home no? Does everybody have a pillow top on the mattress? Okay. So these are things you may want to consider. One thing we've noticed in this part of the world is that people like a mattress is hard surface, hard. Sometimes that is good, because you need to have support. But if you have hard support with little cushion, and your spine is not actually it's not in proper alignment, you will increase the pressure points that affect your spine, that damages the muscle, that damages the ligament of your spine. So firm is great if you weigh 30, 40, 50 kilograms, you have no body weight transfer to the mattress. If it's too hard, and you sleep on a really hard mattress, the problem is you're going to transfer those body points onto throughout your spine, and that's what causes people to toss and turn. So mattress quality and spine flexibility will affect your quality of sleep. Is everybody with me so far? Everybody's asleep? Just checking. Okay. So, moving on. So, you might need a new mattress if you constantly wake up sore and achy. Or if you find yourself gaining, lost or gaining weight, change in your metabolism. Because once again, if you disrupt your cortisol when you sleep because you can't get deep enough sleep, well, that's going to affect your weight loss or going to affect your metabolism.
Can we have the previous slide?
Previous slide? Okay. So, good mattress should maintain the normal posture of your spine. So, how you maintain the normal posture depends on each person's spine. So, your posture is a window to your nerves to see how well your body's working. Okay. A medical condition can change the way you sleep, and also waking up feeling unrested are indicators of a poor mattress. So, if any of these relates to you, you got to talk to us afterwards, when we wrap up this talk. And how does sleep have to do with expressing your full human potential? I talked about this throughout this workshop. If you deprive a person of sleep, it's called torture. Right? For people in military, people who've done national service, raise up your hand if you're a gentleman in Singapore who've done national service. Okay. Was there part of your training that involved an all-night, guys had to stay up all night, right? Kind of sleep deprivation exercise. What happens if you try to perform without sleep deprivation? how does that affect your performance in the field? Affects judgment, right? Affects cognition, right? So any person who actually constantly loses sleep, they're actually affecting not just mental performance, physical performance, losing your body's ability, the brain-body connection becomes compromised. Basically, your brain-body connection is your lifeline. So if you want to improve the quality of your lifeline connection, brain-body connection, you got to look to see how you're sleeping. Increase the quality of sleep, you also increase your body's ability to heal itself. Okay, sleep position is affected by your posture, muscle pressure, and your nervous system function. The body signals that's on that sheet, that survey, are indicators of possible disruptions in those nervous system functions. Because your nerves goes to every single cell, tissue, and organ in your body. Sleep position, or sleeping in a bad position, can cause a condition that we call as chiropractors subluxation. Subluxation is the term that we use when your spine misaligns out of place, places pressure on the nerve, and disrupt the connection. Sometimes that connection can lead to pain, sometimes it doesn't lead to pain, but it will alter your posture or alter your movement. Okay, so in a nutshell, what it looks like is, imagine your body be a series of instruments. I want you guys to picture an orchestra. This is the best way to describe the nervous system and how the spine is intertwined. Think of your spine and your nervous system as a connection between your brain and the rest of the body. Your brain is the maestro. Okay, your brain is the conductor. Your heart is one instrument, your lungs is another instrument, your muscles is another instrument, right? So you have a bunch of different instruments coordinated together. Can an orchestra work together without a symphony, without a conductor? No, you're going to have discord. But when you have a conductor that's fully operational, that's fully present, that's working at its full potential, then you can create symphony, then you can create music, then you can create rhythm, harmony. For your body to have harmony, you've got to ensure that connection is working at its full potential. Chiropractic, and what we look for is to find out, is there anything interfering with that connection, preventing your body from healing its full potential? The most common parts that interfere with your full potential are traumas to the body, your thoughts or stress, or the chemicals or toxins that are introduced to your body. Okay? Trauma, the birth, that's the very first time that any of us experience trauma. Have you ever seen a baby being born, either live or on TV? It looks pretty horrific. Okay? In fact, regardless if it's a C-section or natural birth, baby's head is turned, pulled, bent, and pulled out with mechanical adult force on a small infant child. A lot of you don't realize that that's the very first time that any one of us can disrupt the brain-body connection. 80% of kids that are born with misalignment of that top bone of their spine that affect the development. Half the time they correct on its own, the other half the time it doesn't correct, which is the reason why sometimes chiropractors often check kids to see if there's any misalignment that affect the development. Slips, falls, or bumps, which is just plain and simple, like you're on the MRT or bus, you're not holding the handle, you catch yourself from falling, that can disrupt the spine, that can disrupt your muscles, that can disrupt your nerves, cause a strain. Repetitive stress. The most common repetitive stress is how you work. If you're sitting down at a desk, you sit in your chair and your back is touching the chair and you're sitting for 6-7 hours and your eyes get tired, so your head starts to sit forward, or your back is straight, and you start to lose natural alignment. Then you start to actually mimic the posture of an auntie or an uncle from a hawker center here, because that's what you spend 6-7 hours sitting at a desk doing. But a lot of you don't realize that that's the repetitive stress on your body. And poor sleep habits also is another type of stress that can affect and create subluxation. Your thoughts, all right, emotion, mental, all right, stress, worry, all right, not letting go at the end of the day, carrying their stress from day to day without letting go. That's one of the tools I tell patients who have a hard time letting go at the end of the night. So shut off your technology. If you have a task list, or if you have something that you're carrying over you can't let go of, start writing down, journaling. Free up the space, give your mind some space to be able to regenerate, right? Or to eliminate the worry, source of worry. What I find is that when people take the exercise of writing down their concerns, writing down their worries, it actually frees up their mental space so that they can reverse it the next day, or visit the next day. So journaling is another example that you can do to offset stress, and many other tools as well. And toxins. Drugs, smoke, pollution, white sugar, caffeine, alcohol. White sugar is one of the most common things that we find that are part of people's diets that affect their overall health and well-being. Think of sugar, the effect that sugar has on the body, it affects the same as cocaine. Sugar has the same effect as cocaine on the brain. Okay? When cocaine enters the brain, it causes a certain part of the brain to light up. Sugar has the exact same effect. In fact, it's more addictive than certain hard drugs, which is the reason why it's harder for people to pull away from grains, pull away from sugars, go on diets. If you have a disruption of sleep, your willpower to diet is even harder. So if you have a hard time, losing weight, or you try getting diets, you have a yo-yo diet, go up and down, up and down, we may want to look at your sleep pattern. And then we as chiropractors say, well, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to have problems with managing metabolism, how are you sleeping? What is disrupting your sleep? So we're not just looking at how your spine feels, but how is it affecting your overall health well-being? So we're all susceptible to stress. Welcome to Singapore. Okay, we're no longer living the way that our parents used to, or the generation before. Think of our grandparents. Did they have MRT? No, they walked, they traveled, they used a bike. They walked. Most of the day spent upright. Most of the time we're spending actually being able to squat on the ground, to go to the toilet, bend in the knees, bend in the hips. Just from a show of hands, when you guys go to the toilet, who used the hole in the ground versus the seat? Honestly, I use the seat. I haven't figured out how to use the hole in the ground yet, folks, right? But being able to use your body, be able to do those simple movements, we've lost that because the amount of time that you spend sitting down, right, and static and non-emotion. Movement is life. When you're not moving, you're pretty much in a casket. Movement is life. When you're not moving, ultimately, you're in a casket. So you can't feel subluxation. You can't feel this misalignment. Subluxation is a slow progressing disease of your body. Much like diseases that you don't feel pain with, you don't want to live with. You can't feel disease, you can't feel cancer the first 2 stages until it's too late. The only time that you feel cancer is in stage 3, stage 4. You can't feel diabetes in the early stages. The only time that you feel diabetes is when it's actually the end stage, when it starts to shut off blood supply that goes to your hands, fingers, feet, or affects your vision. You can't feel heart disease. Can you feel high blood pressure? No. Most people actually feel heart disease, or actually failure of the heart, when it's actually 60% blockage of the heart vessels, of the blood vessels to the heart. When do you want to find out when you have a problem? When you first have the heart pain, chest pain? Well, as early as possible. So you can't really feel subluxations, but you have early indicators letting you know that there might be a subluxation misalignment inside your spine. So that indicator, or some of those indicators, are on that checkmark boxes that we gave you that sheet to fill out. So if you have any one of those filled out, those are early indicators that you might have an interference of your spine that's affecting your nervous system. So our job is to align your spine to restore the connection that allows your body to heal itself. Does everybody believe that your body is smart? Is that a truth? Yes, absolutely. Is your body designed to self-heal? Yes. What's the most important organ in your body? What can you not live without? The brain, yes. What does the brain connect through to? The nerves. Where do the nerves go throughout your body? Every single cell, tissue, and organ. So now, look at your spine differently. What's inside your spine? The pathway between the brain and the rest of the body. So my question to each and every one of you is, are you getting your spine checked as often as you're getting your teeth checked? Probably not. Every year, we should go to the dentist once or twice a year to get the teeth checked, correct? Since we're kids. But when's the last time someone told you to get your spine checked? Never. So we're understanding now in Singapore, people are prioritizing their health and well-being before the crisis. No one wants to fix a problem in a hospital. No one wants to fix a problem in an emergency room. But if you can identify a problem in your health before you get to that stage, how much time and money is it going to save you versus waiting for the crisis? So when we look at sleep, sleep is one of the indicators that lets you know and lets us know where there might be a disruption in how your brain-body connection is working. Then we also use your posture as another indicator to determine where there might be disruptions in your spine. Then we also are going to check your movement to see how your joints move, determine how the connections to your muscles. And then the last part is we actually feel your spine joint by joint in our offices to determine exactly where the subluxations are, or whether or not it needs further evaluation, either MRIs or X-rays. Okay. Here's the reality: is that most people who get a spine checked right now, the first time in their 30s and 40s, when they should have gotten checked early when they're in their teens. Right? So think of it this way: the time to get your spine checked the same time as you should have gotten to the dentist. If you've never had your spine checked before, consider that as though you've never gone to the dentist until your 30s or 40s, or this age. Do you think the dentist is going to find problems inside your teeth if you've never been to the dentist before? Absolutely. But there are going to be some indicators and warning signs that the dentist will look for that you don't feel pain with. Plaque and cavities. Your subluxations are like plaque to your spine. So we're like dentists of the spine. We're looking for indicators of dysfunction that are affecting your health. And some of those indicators we're using to use today to see your posture. So we're going to do it afterwards. For those who have questions about your own unique issues, if you have concerns, so if you don't mind me showing. If you have one of these, myself and Dr. Glenn here, one of my colleagues here, right, we're going to discuss your own unique concerns based on your posture. And also, we're going to address anything that's been marked off regarding your health well-being to understand what you can do to take the next step to find out answers and not live with a signal. We have 3 locations, and we have one location across the street, we have one in Orchard, and we have 2 at Orchard actually, one in Novena and one at Orchard Central. Okay, the closest one here is literally across the street. But we are available to you today to answer questions, to give you more knowledge, but we're also available for people who are serious about their health. So if you checked off any one of those boxes, those are alarms that your body's trying to tell you something. So you have a choice. Ignore it and put it off, right? Until it no longer shuts off, and now you have to pay that attention to the alarm with either drugs or a medical visit, or pay attention to that alarm right now and get some answers on what you can do, something naturally, holistically, to solve the problem of your body, to shut off that alarm. So don't treat your body as a, treat your body like it's the, basically treat it like your home. Okay? You maintain that. Maintain your house, maintain your body the same way. Okay? So we're available for you, for anybody who's got questions regarding what we learned about sleep. And just from a show of hands, who learned something today that really they did not know before this workshop? Raise up your hands if you took something away from this workshop. Good. Now raise up your hands if you know something that will help somebody who's not here today, either a family member or a friend, that if they were here, that actually could improve their health and well-being based on what they learned here today. Okay. I can see some people nodding as well too. So we're going to make ourselves available to you here afterwards, to be able to talk during the lunch or after lunch as well too. Also to follow with that posture check. But also, if you're thinking about the family or friends or coworkers that could have benefited from this, talk to us. Because we like to educate not only in our clinic, but also outside the community. Because can you imagine if more people in the corporate setting, more families understood this? How much better it can actually improve your quality of health and life. Okay. So folks, my name is Dr. Brent Maxwell. My colleague here, Dr. Glenn, is in the corner. We have a team of ladies here, professionals here as well to answer your questions. That is my time. I'm going to give your attention back to Mr. Zhu. And also, I hear some of your bellies rumbling, so I know it's lunchtime. I'm not going to ignore that. So thank you for your attention, folks, and I appreciate your time.